is one of my favorite Disney animated movies. I just love the songs. I sing them constantly.
The colors, the animation in general is absolutely breathtaking and beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool how this thing sort of kicked off the Disney Renaissance by harkening back to that older sort of style of animation. You can definitely see a lot of the influences and the character expressions, the subject matter, and the songs. What's your guys' favorite song?
Oh gosh. Okay, well, so I guess if I go by what song I sing the most, it's Under the Sea. However, I don't know most of the words to Under the Sea. I just know like one line of it.
And the chorus.
And the chorus. Yeah. But the song that I actually do know the words to is Part of Your World. So I've sung that quite a few times. And then Poor Unfortunate Souls is just applicable to so many situations. So I sing that quite often.
I guess I don't really have specifically a favorite. What I always think of is Under the Sea for just the reason of it being an amazing example of how this movie does such an excellent balance of visuals and sound, because you have everything just meshes together into this beautiful symphony, you could say, because it really embraces like what makes a musical work. It embraces those aspects of it, of having again you have the, not the theme, but the what do you call it when
The tune?
Yeah, the tune of the music goes with the visual. The beats to it go along with, and the animators take the tune of that song and they utilize elements in the visuals to give you extra.
It's well synchronized.
Yeah, synchronized.
I would say it's almost perfect when it comes to synchronization of songs with visuals.
The variety of it's really cool too visually, and Under the Sea with all the different kinds of fish and all the different instrument type things and the motion and the colors and the swirlings and
the colors are so good.
Yeah. I think for me, I like the. I'm really torn between Kiss the Girl and Part of Your World. I think Part of Your World with both sort of the initial one and then the refrain kind of when she's on the rock. I think it really sets up the point of the movie. It's kind of like the most important song, movie wise, plot wise.
So you say it's the most character focused?
Yeah. But Kiss the Girl is really fun because Sebastian is wonderful, and like the different, like in Under the Sea you have all the ocean life, but in Kiss the Girl you have like the ducks and the turtles and the frogs and
flamingos.
All that kind of stuff.
And you got fireflies doing stuff.
Oh yeah,
they were adding to the visualness of it, and it's a really charming, and Sebastian just trying so hard. I love Sebastian. He's such a fun character.
He's like such a good example of a supporting character, because he's never overbearing or stealing the limelight, right? But he is so necessary to how
integral.
He's very integral to the story and Ariel as a character, like, because basically after she loses her voice, he's almost a voice for her, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I keep forgetting, but he's not an assistant to the king.
He's the court composer.
He's just a really famous composer.
Well,
pretty much.
Maybe he's also a friend almost to King Triton, because
they
King
seem to be
Triton
familiar with each other.
Does ask for his advice. He does treat his opinions,
and then
as...
he turns around and gives him a job.
Yeah.
No, when he tries so hard to not be afraid, and then he just like voice cracks immediately. He's just like all like,
I will remain calm. Yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And
I guess
the way he moves and stuff is also really great. I like the way he moves.
I like how he has a face
around.
and not horrifying little eyeballs on sticks.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
But I think as far as the movie goes as a whole, aside from the music, I absolutely love the voice acting and the visuals of it. I think every single character, you just, like, whether they're moving or speaking, like, you can understand exactly who they are, what they think and feel about pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Especially, like, even when Ariel can't speak, like, the overreaction of the gestures that she makes and the expressions, you get everything so well.
Yeah, And I guess so we don't just focus solely on visuals and music, the pacing and the overall writing is pretty smack on the dot when it comes to what they wanted to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, like, anyone watching this, I don't think a child would be bored. I don't think a parent would be bored. It's just this very, very, it's very quick, but it doesn't feel, like, too fast. The pacing is spot on.
So I like how, as a kid, I was very much on Ariel's side for everything. Ariel was completely right. Yeah, Eric is just the most handsome and he's the best and we all need a Prince Eric. I don't know. And then now that I'm older, I'm listening to her dad and I agree with her dad.
Would you say like as a parent you understand him?
I'm just like, no, girl, you just met a boy. You haven't even talked to him in person.
To be fair, though, he's really nice, and he saves a dog, and he's kind to people, and it's not that he's just a boy, it's that he's a very nice boy.
King Triton doesn't know that, though.
That's true.
So as far as King Triton knows, she finds a statue of a guy and falls in love with it.
Well, no, she sees him first.
She sees him as a real-life person and even saves him. How dare she? Yeah, but... So I think it's a movie that is applicable to all ages, and I understand her dad so much more now that I'm an adult. However, I do also like how the movie portrays him. His characterization is well done, I think, because, yes, he's an antagonist to her in a way. He's stopping her goal, blocking her goal. And
well, would he be an antagonist, or is he more of a catalyst for events to happen?
Well, he's actively
without his
trying
actions.
to impede her, but he's doing it like, so, for example, there's the scene where he's berating her for being late, or actually missing the music festival at the beginning, where he's like, the entire celebration was ruined. You missed it.
You were literally the main focus.
This was all for you. How could you forget? And then he tells her you're not going to go up to the surface again. You better not. And so she swims off. And then he asks the court composer, do you think I was too harsh on her? So we as the audience, we're seeing that he's not trying to just be a big, mean dad.
He's not trying to control her out of spite or something.
Yes,
you could say.
He's doing it for a good reason. He wants to protect her. He's not sure how. And then in the second time we see him really blow up is where he's blowing up all her stuff, right? Where he finds out and he's like, I have to destroy everything to get my point across. But then we see, before he leaves, that he doesn't think he did the right thing. He has a moment where his face tells the audience that I'm really distraught that I've done this, and I just don't know. So he leaves, and then she goes
you could
to
say that Ariel also pushed him almost to where at first he was just schooling her, but then when she goes as far as saying I love him, he's just like, okay, that's enough, explode everything.
So again, I don't agree with the dad. I know that the dad did not handle that well. I do understand him though, as a character.
Are you saying that these characters are written to have flaws and that they make sense?
Yeah, and then later on we hear him sending out all the people to find her, to search for her, let no mermen sleep until she and Sebastian are found, and it's so sad and tragic. Anyways.
Yeah, but the way he's resolved, though, in the end, you have him, giving Ariel what she wants, not just because she wants it, but because he personally saw a human save a mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
And that completely changes his perspective on things, and not just a mermaid, but it isn't just an arbitrary, like, oh, I'll give you legs now. It's like I've seen the merits of this fella and his species.
Like many good parents, at the end of the day, he wants her to be happy, and he basically, he realizes that, okay, so I was kind of trying to, I thought, this is just a phase, right? She'll eventually realize that Under the Sea is way better, but she actually truly loves this guy, and this guy did just kind of show up, and
one of the best
and he proved how amazing he is. You know, he was willing to swim down and throw a harpoon at an evil witch, and then he later was able to kill the giant octopus with a sunken ship. It was pretty darn cool. So he's a pretty good guy, and so I'll give her her legs because you know she's earned it in that case way.
I think Prince Eric might be one of my favorite Disney princes.
Is it because he gets a bit more characterization than some of the other classics?
You know, yeah, I think he is. He does do a lot more. Again, I think the Snow White, some Prince Charming from Snow White, I understand that they had some
time limits
and some technical difficulties with that. So I don't blame them.
Would you say Cinderella?
Cinderella, I
way
think
more.
maybe, where it's like, I don't think
he's got more than Philip, but not quite as much as Aladdin. Yeah,
wait,
Sleeping
so
Beauty.
I just said the Cinderella, and you said he. So are we?
Yeah, way more than Cinderella.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got confused. All right.
So
I bypassed the
like I guess
Prince Charming.
like I guess if we're gonna do a real quick thing of I guess in the amount of characterization that the prince character gets is like it would be like Snow White, Cinderella,
Sleeping Beauty,
and
the Aristocats, the Great Mouse Detective, Alice in Wonderland, Tarzan.
Yeah, but those aren't princess movies.
No, I know. I'd say it's not quite as much as Aladdin, but it's about.
But basically, he is very much up like while the other princes are either introduced late or they just don't have a lot of screen time. The prince in the Little Mermaid definitely has. He's very integral to the plot as well.
Yeah.
And he's involved in. Well, basically, it helps that the Ariel has a lot of interaction with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's cool.
He's given things to do, and he contributes immensely to the plot.
And I think the scene where he is sailing the giant ship, well, a normal sized ship, I suppose, but he just sails it into Ursula's, just like dun dun dun. It's everything about that scene is so cool.
And Ursula's so distracted by the Ariel she's trying to stab.
True love.
She tries so much to laser beam Ariel at the bottom of this whirlpool that and
nobody expects a 18th century galleon.
We haven't even talked about Ursula. She's such a good villain.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Let's just segue to
the motion, the voice,
why
the
visual is good.
Like, holy cow, like, she is insanely fun to watch, and just the moment she comes on screen, like, with just the vile and vitriol she has towards all life and living things, and, like, her desire to, like, control and...
once
basically
again,
underwater Sauron.
It's so many.
Right.
I wouldn't say she's underwater Sauron. I think she's her own unique character.
She has magical eyes.
The
eels?
Yeah, the eels. They have that giant eyeball.
The eels are so good too. Oh gosh,
so
we haven't even talked at all about that. But yeah, it's
I guess
very fun villain.
It is interesting how it's like, how does Ursula know what's going on? Well, she has two magic eels that she can watch through. It's like, that makes sense. They set it up, and they keep her magic. Well, I guess they don't make her. I guess they don't really explain her magic, but I'm never wondering why she can't do something.
It's a talent that she's always has possessed.
Yeah, they weren't kidding when they called her a witch.
So I think it's great that she's actively trying to do this thing, and so she's trying to find the best way to do it, and she's keeping an eye on what Ariel's doing because she's doing weird things, and then she's like, oh, this is perfect. And so she's able to not just, like, come up with this out of nowhere. It's like she's intentionally trying to get a goal accomplished, and she finds the best possible way, and it's not only the best possible way, it's perfect. And, like, when she realizes that, she's just like, oh, this is going to be too easy almost.
As you said,
great.
It basically set up that she had been watching for a while at least, and so it wasn't just, she happened to get lucky with what Ariel was doing that day. It was, no, she was actively watching Ariel, at least somewhat, and so she was able to seize that opportunity because she was looking for it.
Seize the moment. It's a really charming movie. Great pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Great visuals and stories.
So we've covered pretty much all the basics of what made the original so good, and it needed to be good because at this point in Disney's history, they were struggling, and from what I remember, right? They were struggling, and they needed a movie to make a profit. proper prophet
Yeah, Great Mouse Detective helped out a lot with that, but it was the Little Mermaid that really
that
I mean,
saved
that's the
them.
reason why it's the Renaissance. It pretty much saved Disney Animation as a studio and kickstarted some of their most famous movies for the next like decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And so we skip ahead forward in time, where some people might be like, "Oh, look at this movie that, as we have discussed, is well, I guess." So before we move on to to the future or present for us, like what
Past for us.
flaws would you say are in the original? Like meaningful flaws, I guess,
Yeah, it's
because
like-
we could say that.
Okay, I think the world is a little weird where one of the reasons why Triton doesn't like humans is that they eat fish in a world where I guess we never see fish eat fish.
But it's just my
and-
basic understanding of the ocean is it's Mother
Yeah.
Nature. It's a fish eat fish
yeah,
world.
so but I like that it's internally consistent. We never see anyone other than a horrible monster eat a fish. Ursula eating the
Yeah,
shrimp creature. And
Or-
then I think that
or the chef.
well, yeah, but he's not a sea
Oh,
creature. So
son.
that comes into the problem of Prince Eric can understand Sebastian's voice. So does that mean that the humans can understand the animals that they're eating? I think it's not so much of a problem as
Or Sebastian's
a
just
weird
that good
world-building
of a
issue.
composer that he can make himself sound like a human. Is he that just that talented? So
I don't feel like a crab
like
should
mermaids
be able
can
to
understand, all the sea creatures, right? Except the
But-
evil shark person, probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I
shark
guess-
person.
Shark
Person-
Sharks
Shark
are
Boy and
people.
Lava Girl. So yeah, I think that's really the only issue I have, and I don't think of it so much of an issue as just like it's not an issue because it's internally consistent, and I can buy that. Okay, maybe all these fish aren't eating each other, but as far as issues, when you say that, it's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't really. I suppose the prince could maybe get a bit more characterization, because we don't see his parents at all, do we?
Well, they're dead.
As
yeah.
far as we know, he is in charge of this.
Yeah,
country.
he seems to pretty much just be in charge, with only his butler around to really give us information.
Yeah.
I suppose you
Um,
could ask questions about all the geopolitical things.
Well, I
but
guess-
I don't.
We
I
don't
don't
see other
ask
kingdoms.
questions.
We don't see any. It's fine.
Well,
We
I'm
don't
so
need
that
to
just
know.
shows how good this movie is that it gives us all the information we need. Like, to ask for more is pretty much unnecessary, because like they could add an extra half an hour, and if that extra half an hour was the quality of the rest of it, it would probably be fantastic. But they are so effective with what they give us that again, since I don't really question anything, and as you stated, like, I guess one of the biggest things you can point out is him understanding a crab when trying to think of when trying to figure out Ariel's name.
Yeah. I still love that scene though. Like I said, because the girl's just such a great sequence.
But that, as you said, that's it's borderline nitpick to not an issue.
Yeah, I'd
So-
say it was an issue if it was. You know what? If a main character ate a main positive character ate somebody, like a living thinking creature that can interact and sing in under the sea, that would be an issue. However, the shark trying to eat them and Ursula trying to eat things, like, yeah, okay, it's internally consistent. You have this world of assumed vegetarian fish. I don't have an issue with it. But like, yeah, if Scuttle, for instance, just dove underwater and swallowed a fish right in front of our fish deuteragonist,
Yeah, that would be like
Oh yeah, Flounder's fun. I like Flounder.
he's
Flounder
fun.
has
Saying. We haven't mentioned him. a
Would you
lot.
say that he is important to the plot, or would you say he could be taken out?
No,
I think he's
he,
important.
He helps,
He's important.
especially
And
towards the.
I'm actually
climax
embarrassed to
where-
say this, but we forgot about Scuttle.
Oh, God, yeah.
No, we
but
just haven't-
before that, though, Flounder. I think
We
he
almost
really
gotta
helps
move
because
on, yeah.
he's really
You're
normal. He's like he's like the straight man, where he's like, I'm gonna sort of show what the reaction should be, and it emphasizes Ariel's curiosity, especially in that ship
And
sequence.
borderline bravery, because
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a really fun sequence in the opening when she's going through the ship with Flounder. So she's being chased by the shark. The shark's eating the ship, and she drops her bag. of human stuff. And the shark is still coming towards her, but she turns around, grabs the bag right as the shark chomps at it. And then they escape. But when Flounder is in trouble, where he's floundering through the water and the shark's about to eat him, she drops her bag. Like, she just drops it, doesn't care about it, and goes to save her friend.
Yeah.
So it was a nice, and no one said anything. She didn't point it out. It was just a visual thing that happened. And I think it was a really nice way of showing what she values. She does value the human stuff. She values her friend more. And it was sweet. I liked it.
Good characterization.
And you could say that they show her bravery and her willingness to help by saving the prince, even though there was a huge storm and wreckage going on at the same time.
Yeah. It was clearly dangerous.
It was clearly risky and dangerous. Yeah. So let's get to Scuttle, because
he's just charming and amusing.
Would you say he's underrated? Because no one talks about him, but he's really important in a special way.
Yeah, he's the reason why Prince Eric doesn't marry Ursula.
Yeah, he was very
he's able to stall that wedding.
I just like the scene where she brings him all the stuff, and it's so you understand that the moment they interact, it's like, oh, this is not the first time. This is something.
Would you say he's an enabler?
Frequently. No,
would she be as fascinated if she didn't have someone to pretend to explain?
Actually, so is he pretending, or is he a bird in this world, and so he just thinks this is what humans do with it?
Well, I remember I did see a very interesting video of someone else covering it, where they were I wouldn't say, I'm not sure if it would be considered a theory, but basically it was he was characterized where maybe he enjoys spending time with Ariel, so that's why he pretends to know these things, is so she has a reason to visit him. Because obviously he can't breathe underwater, so he can't just dive down there and just talk to her whenever he wants. He has to wait for her to come up, she typically only comes up when she has the things, and so it's just interesting to be even if he doesn't know, he still enjoys spending time with Ariel because she's just that cool and special of a character.
Yeah, maybe whether or not I really like how you can tell that they know each other, they're friends, they're associated. She doesn't have to be oh, hello, my friend Scuttle, who I enjoy talking with from time to time about
yes, they just have this interaction
instant
of
chemistry. It's something
natural
that modern
chemistry,
creations are almost allergic to.
And it's really funny how it's a dingle hopper, and the voice actor puts so much, and the animators put so much effort into into his facial expressions and stuff.
It's pretty much every voice that comes out of
he's never annoying.
Show. Yeah,
that's another thing he's really great, is that he is a comic relief character, but they never when he's annoying, when he's trying to sing right before that scene, kiss the girl. I was gonna
bring that up, where he's just wah! And Eric is just wow, somebody should find that thing and put it out of its misery. It's so funny.
Yeah, and then the birds shut him up, and then later on,
Sebastian's
throttling him to keep him quiet.
It's so funny.
So it's they never let him being funny ruin a scene. Basically him being stupid or something doesn't ruin.
I don't
it's
feel
not
he's ever stupid though. Right?
I guess
he's just misinformed or. I don't know. He has to be making it up, because there's no way he'd know what humans did. He said that before.
Well, again, he told her that a fork was basically a hairbrush.
Well, yeah, but he said that they just stared at each other all day and it got really bored, in the ancient times. So it's he would have no way of knowing that, so he kind of has to have made it up.
I think it works both ways. Either he's making it up and that's fine.
Well, basically, he's taking his minimal, basically, he's taking his observation of humans, because obviously he flies around them and stuff, and then he's just oh, I guess, and then when he sees things, he'll just make things up, because that's what he thinks.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
But so now that we've properly covered pretty much everything, from what I can tell, is there?
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty good. I guess
I don't think we really need to talk about the chef.
What do you mean?
He's fun to watch.
How can you learn French without
that song?
What
is it called again?
Le Poisson.
Is the song called that?
It's called Le Poisson.
Oh, okay.
Which is
and it teaches you French?
Well, Le Poisson is fish in French, so It teaches you that? Okay, it does not teach you French.
It is just a
But
really silly
it's
song and a
fun.
really silly character.
Well, it's
that
horrifying in like real life, which is why they didn't have it in the live action version.
I-
Could you imagine?
Hungry food
just have
for
this guy
slaughter.
freaking out over a crab trying to kill it in a
Well, no,
murderous
just like
rage.
ripping fish apart and just like the blood and viscera flying everywhere. It'd just be horrifying.
Yeah, so I
yeah.
think we can now segue to the live action, which,
Yeah.
because as we know, all great Disney classics need a live action remake in order to be truly appreciated.
Yeah, so hot take, of all the live action ones that I've seen, it really isn't that bad of an adaptation.
It's like
I
the
don't
least
think-
offensive.
Yeah, so I think the thing is that it's not bad because it's a bad adaptation. It's bad because it's an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just takes a lot of the every positive thing that we've been talking about. It just kind of sucks out all the heart and soul of it. There's only like a couple things in it that I could point to as being like, oh, this is good or interesting. But even no matter how good it is, I would so much rather watch the original. I think it is so embedded in its medium, and it was told so well, and it's so timeless, and the look and feel and like everything about it is just so much more enjoyable.
Well, the most obvious thing for me, at least visually, was the lighting.
Yeah.
Everything
Or
was
lack
either
thereof.
everything was too dark or just muted, where I didn't really like even the beach scene. They could have like the scene where they're dancing on the beach and stuff.
Mhm.
They could have taken advantage and really just made everything pop, but instead we kind of things look too normal almost, to where I can't pick anything out as looking interesting, which
I
is a
think-
real problem when you have a movie when you're adapting a movie that was visually interesting for like almost every frame.
Yeah.
So I don't know, really.
So I think a really good example of it is when you have the scene with the shark. It's difficult to see anything, and I know that part of it is because CGI you want it to be a little darker just so it's not as easy to see any mistakes.
Yeah, but that's a crutch.
Yes, but
So
it also
I mean,
just
Way of Water isn't that dark, and I know they
Maybe.
had 10 years and everything, but still, a company like Disney should be willing to put in the time and effort to allow me to see it, and shouldn't have to use such shortcuts.
Yeah, they
But-
did in 1989 when they made it look colorful and beautiful.
Yeah, I think a second issue, though, is even when you had a scene that was more lit. So during the
Under the Sea.
song, where they have all of these creatures, they have a lot of colors. However, a thing I noticed is that it seemed that the creatures were all the same, as in they had this one
Starfish
starfish-looking creature, and it looked like there was just 50 of them. So they had the same creature copy and pasted and flopping around the screen as they were singing. While in the animated one, you had a wide variety of fishes, a wide variety of colors, a wide variety of shapes.
And movement.
And movement, yes. I think that is actually one of the biggest issues, is that the way characters move in the live action is lacking in a lot of ways. And I think you can understand it in a way where, like, the people who are underwater, they're not actually filming underwater. They don't actually put a tail onto the actress who's playing Ariel and have her moving the tail with her legs and all. She's like in a contraption that is all green screen things. So
I'm guessing they might use some kind of wire work for certain
Oh, maybe.
movements, I guess.
I
Maybe to get
haven't-
rid of that floaty look.
I haven't looked at the making of. In fact, maybe that would be interesting to see the making
Well, for
of.
what little making of I see, it's kind of depressing how they're just on a blue stage and there's literally nothing real around them and
Ooh,
stuff.
That's sad.
And so, not even their hair or anything. So it's just, hey, pretend to talk to a fish, okay? And it's like, okay, can I at least have a fun plush toy or something? It's like, no, just look at the tennis ball and talk to it.
All I've seen is the scene where she's sitting on the green guys and the turtles.
Oh yeah, on the
That's so funny.
yeah, the turtles were just a bunch of guys crawling on the floor, and she was just sitting on top of the one. It's like, I don't know why that looks funny, but it does.
It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things you can see in this life.
Yeah, so it's like I don't necessarily think that the creators, the people who worked on it, they're so bad at their jobs. It's more that I think
No, the people who made it, like, they were not the ones responsible. Who should take the blame is, like, I guess who was ever in charge of the artistic direction, where they signed off on being like, yes, I want it to look drab and boring and creepily realistic.
Well, The Lion King made $1.10 billion. We should make this one look hyper-realistic, too.
Yeah, because that's what I want to see, is a photorealistic crab try to sing Under the Sea to me. And it's like, again, since all the creatures have to be hyper-realistic, we don't get a fish playing an octopus like a cello or anything.
Yeah.
And and they also
we get a
limit...
weird giant squid creature for no reason.
When was that again?
In the Under the Sea, like, it kidnaps Ariel and she's like...
yeah, she rides on it for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Her singing in Under the Sea kind of undermines the whole point.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Sebastian and all the other fish telling her how great it is, but they accidentally... Well, yeah, I guess... What was the point of having her sing? Because I guess we can quickly segue into that. At least they got a person who can sing.
Yeah.
Unlike a Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. 100% singing was pretty good.
Yeah, so we'll give them that. But it's one of those things where you make this live action, you are actually taking away and losing potential. Because with it being a cartoon, Sebastian is not a realistic crab at all.
No.
He's a freak. He straight up just has a normal face on a crab body, but firstly, it's done very well so that it doesn't look weird.
Kind of harkens back to that spider in Snow White, where it's like, spiders don't look like that, but I know it's a spider.
Yeah.
And it has way more character than, like, this horrifying creature.
Yeah, you have this tiny little spider that gets annoyed that they're gathering his web. It's great, because they give it a little face so it can emote. But nothing is allowed to emote, nothing is allowed to look energetic or anything, and so we get basically just a bunch of assets floating around, and like we get these weird like mushroom slug looking things, and they're just dancing, but
yeah,
they look weird.
Oh, I didn't like it.
And I'm just like, again, we have no it doesn't like all the fish in the original look happy to be there, and it's like here it's just CGI creatures moving around.
Yeah.
Like, how does a documentary, like, you know, one of those BBC Earth documentaries where where they're able to, like, because of their hard work, they're able to get some really crazy shots of, like, animals and stuff. And, you know, they put a lot of effort into showing us these amazing and beautiful landscapes.
Who would have thought
above
Under
and
the Sea
underwater
could actually be quite beautiful?
Well, it's amazing. It's
colorful
crazy
and
how,
well-lit.
like, just go on YouTube and look up Barrier Reef, and you will see such a huge variety of extremely popping and visceral colors. Yet here, everything has a muted filter over it.
Yeah.
Everything is either dark or the lighting's terrible.
Under the sea, everything is muted.
And I want to segue to the music where, expect like Under the Sea, they actually almost ruin because they don't have they only have Ariel and Sebastian singing. No one else is singing, and like they seem to it's like they copy the words, but they don't seem. They weren't willing to replicate any of the other things. So it's like, why didn't you have the singing fish and the really big guy that do the one line?
Guess who's gonna be on the plate?
Yeah,
that
so
guy?
yeah, so in the original, like, it's a big fish and he's in a bubble and he pops it and he falls on the thing and he says who's gonna be on the plate, right? And they chose a guy that had a really rich, deep voice.
Yeah.
But what did we get in the live action? Just do your best in
Guess who's gonna be on the plate?
it sounds so bad because they have him do this goofy, like, fake deep voice. And I'm like, why? Why didn't you just get a separate person who had a naturally super deep baritone and do that? Why didn't you get an opera singer to do the Like they had a little opera fish.
that one. The black fish goes.
Yeah, they had an opera fish, but no, we don't get opera fish. All we get is a giant squid and a bunch of clams.
You know, that kind of feeds into a thing I was thinking when I was watching the live action one, right? It reminds me almost of like something that, you know, when you're a kid and you want to like remake your favorite film, like you get like a video camera and you get all your friends together and you're like, oh, let's remake Star Wars, let's remake Indiana Jones, and like you film different scenes of it or whatever, or even do like little Lego stop motions.
I can only say yes to half of it.
So this kind of
we didn't have a camera, but we did act out like our favorite scenes, and obviously the writing changed because it was us doing it.
Well, I did that, but the thing is that this live action Little Mermaid, it doesn't feel like they hated it. It feels like a group of kids were trying to recreate a movie that they liked, but it was little kids making it. Except it wasn't little kids; it was people with hundreds of millions of dollars and all this budget and stuff. But it has that feeling of like this is like.
I guess it was nice that it didn't seem like they hated the original.
Yeah, but it feels like it goes back to that thing where I said that the problem is that it is an adaptation. I feel like regardless of the intentions of the creatives themselves, the company and the purpose behind it, and the fact that they're making it at all, is just like at best it's like, oh, we are trying to recreate this thing that we liked, but it always comes across as like we're just making this thing for money and no other reason, and it just permeates the entire feel of it.
Yeah, because it just feels like that the true care. Like, sure, they didn't hate the original, but I'm not sure if anyone truly loved it either.
So, do we like any of the scenes from the live action? Because they do add a few new things.
So I guess let's just cover what we agree is probably the one good addition was they did change how the prince figures out Ariel's name.
Yeah,
they have her do the little thing so she gets him to like identify a star with Aries, right?
Yeah,
and then she does the thing with his lips to get him to say.
Yeah,
and like
it was a nice idea.
Someone put thought into it, and it was a little clever where they didn't need him to understand a crab in order to do it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing aside from that, it's not an improvement, but I think it's probably it's where the actress shows the best sort of essence of the character she's trying to portray. It's the shark scene. I don't like the way the shark looks or anything looks, but I think she actually, the way she's performing and the way that she's sounding, that's like the only time in the entire movie that she acts like she's excited. She kind of captures that sort of curiousness from Ariel. I think that's probably the peak, except that's where she's introduced and it never really arises again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit weird where we get like what could be the beginnings of a character, but then they kind of abandon it, and whoever was directing her was doing a terrible job, especially after she loses her voice.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, it's literally part of Ursula's song of, hey, I know you won't have a voice, but you gotta use that body language. But she doesn't do any.
There is so much lingering shots on her just staring blankly into the camera, because in addition to this movie that I think is probably one of the worst, aside from another thing we'll have to talk about later, it's that Ursula hides in the fine print of the contract or whatever that Ariel doesn't remember that she needs the prince to kiss her, which is just such an unnecessary addition.
It's borderline useless.
I think it could have worked if she didn't take the voice also. Like, it would have been like, oh, you can still talk, but you don't know that's what you need. But then even it's just having it's silly. I don't think it adds anything to it. It makes everything way weirder, and there's so much of just blank staring, and all of the like charisma that she had at any point is just gone.
And basically the writing has so little faith in the audience, and I guess also so little faith in the actress, that they have her sing in her head in order to portray information. It's like they had that little faith that we wouldn't be able to understand what was going on, so they needed the character to sing in her head, which, like, at least they were having her do what she was good at, yes, but at the same time, they do these unnecessary additions that don't really give us more. Like, we do, instead of so we get a little montage in the original, right, of the prince and Ariel together. What's the prince's name?
Eric.
Okay.
Prince Eric.
For some reason, I was going to say Derek, and that didn't sound right.
No, that's a different prince. That's the Swan Princess.
Okay, so there's a Prince there.
Yes.
Anyway, but Prince Eric, anyway, we get the little montage, right? But here we get a bit more, because it is a longer movie, so we do get more of them interacting.
Mhm.
And he does get a song, which was
It was
okay.
Forgettable.
It was a
I don't
neat
remember the
song.
tune at all,
I don't
honestly.
either. I
Like
remember
that's
that
that's
it
why I'm
was
saying
okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Like so, it's not amazing. So because I don't remember it, but it wasn't so bad that I do remember it as well. So I was like, it must have been just again, just very unnecessary. And they could have, if they wanted to give him more character, they should have worked a bit harder. They should have, give him something more meaningful.
Well,
And then,
he had way more character in the animated one, and he did less.
well, could you say that again? Even he doesn't really get to emote that much, really. Well, no one gets to him. Again, it's amazing how much of an advantage animation has over live action when it comes to just very subtle things. Like, you need a truly talented actor
Well,
to pull off really subtle things.
The lady who was fake Ursula, she seemed like a cartoon character. Like, I guess she captured that.
Yeah,
pretty
she
well.
did she was actually doing a really good job of just being this secretly evil person.
Psycho.
So I almost want to say it's like she watched the movie in order to gauge how she should act. But sometimes I wonder, like, did you watch the movie or did you just have the script out of the original when you were making the new script? And so you, like, they fail on so many levels to improve on anything, but their saving grace is that they're not so terrible that this movie is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, it's not Snow White or Beating the Beast or
Like,
any of the other
I guess my one plus is that if we didn't have the original cartoon, it would be an okay movie.
Yeah,
right?
I'd probably say it would be
Yeah,
okay. I don't think I'd ever really want to watch it again, but I wouldn't be, like, repulsed by it like I am.
It
for
would
some
just
of the
be a
other ones.
meh, like, what, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, maybe?
Yeah.
Where, again, it's not terrible, but it's not worth watching again either. It was just a movie.
Yeah. That thing I was talking about before, I think the worst decision was to have Eric not save Ariel during the last sort of fight.
Yeah.
I think
Oh yeah, because so Ariel saves him at the beginning of the movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So why not have him be able to do it in return? And again, it also sets up showing the father that he is, a good, a strong character, and that he is, maybe worthy of Ariel.
Good person.
Yeah, and especially in this version where Triton specifically hates humans because they're humans and not just because they eat fish.
Well,
Like, his human hatred is, like,
do
turned
they
up to
allude to
1,000.
that? Does he allude that they killed Ariel's mother?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, he's very much in the, like, I hate people so much. Well, not people, humans, I guess.
But then they also give humans a hatred of mermaids.
Because the mermaids are sinking their boats and
But they don't believe
songs
mermaids are
that...
real. That's like a folk thing for them.
Well,
No,
it's
I'm
like
not sure actually.
seemed like
From
it
the
was
live action movie, the sailors are seen trying to harpoon a dolphin because they think it's a mermaid
Yes.
or a merperson. And then the queen, who exists in this version, she says that the sea gods are angry with us and they've been sinking our ships. So we've had like 5 or so shipwrecks recently, and you almost died, Prince Eric, so you need to stop sailing because the sea gods are angry.
Yeah,
And
but
so
regardless of
I
all
don't know
that,
what's
though,
going
the
on.
fact that Ariel saves himself, it makes Eric almost useless. It destroys that Triton payoff, and I don't know. It's just it gives him nothing to do.
well,
It's really lame.
also Triton. Did they turn him into a little?
No, they kill him. Like,
Yeah,
he,
they
he
don't turn him
Thanos,
into
he
a
got
seaweed
Thanos.
monster.
He just evaporated, and
he
it's like,
gets
oh, is he
disintegrated.
actually dead? I miss the little seaweed monsters. The ones in the live action one, they aren't even like people. They're just weird creatures.
Yeah, they're
Well,
just
actually,
weird
I
creatures that
don't-
try to kill her.
And are they supposed to be other mermaids?
I don't think
Because
so, they're just
Ursula has all
creepy.
the skulls.
Oh,
So I thought
yeah.
that she just killed everyone.
Yeah, they do a Man of Steel thing of just all
Krypton
these
at its
skulls.
chance.
We're just like, no! It's just
I
like,
know how to
what-
convince somebody. I'll
Like,
just bury
Ursula,
them in
why are you
skulls.
showing her all this death? And also, again, they change how she sings it. Where, where, basically when she was talking about, the two people that, this one wants the girl and this one wants to be beautiful. Pathetic, right? In the animated, she turns away and says it under her voice, like to the eels.
Oh.
But to that, she says it straight to the camera with Ariel behind it. So, like, she basically just says, "Ha, these people are pathetic." And Ariel is just like, there are so many there are way more red flags.
Yeah.
You like, again, in the cartoon, you can see how she's manipulating Ariel, but in this one, they accidentally give her all these red flags that would just make her be like, you know what, maybe you are evil. Again, the skulls, why are there a bunch of skulls everywhere?
Because skulls convince people. Skulls get things done.
Oh yeah, server skulls from, Warhammer.
Don't be a bonehead.
But I'm not a shark, so my head can't be made of cartilage. Wait, no.
God. Yeah,
Sharks still have skulls.
It's just, it's like a reflection of a photocopy. It's clearly the same
Or is it
script.
a photocopy of a reflection?
I don't care. The point is, it's you know
diluted.
what? It's the best adaptation because in the original Hans Christian Andersen story, the Little Mermaid doesn't have a soul. And neither does this movie.
Talk
about
add
anything.
anything.
So,
Oh yeah,
I guess-
Scuttle freaking eats a fish in front of his fish friend and his friend whose father hates humans because they eat fish. It's just weird.
Oh yeah, they changed Scuttle to this again. We stated earlier. You know what? Scuttle was pretty good. He was never annoying. He was funny, and he never ruined a scene. Right?
Scuttle ruins every scene that Scuttle is present in.
Like I'm going to speak. I'm not going to say like this has nothing to do with the person who voiced them, but that voice is just irritating.
Doesn't that have everything to do with the voice then? The voice acting was a horrible idea. And
I'm guessing that the person they could the point of voice acting is supposed to change it. So why would they give them the direction to sound irritating?
Well, maybe because they thought Scuttle was irritating and they wanted to. You know what? No, she's just irritating. She's irritating in Raya the Last Dragon. She's irritating in Marvel's Katie, Shang-Chi. She's not a good actress.
Like nothing against her.
No,
but...
everything against her.
Well, no, like nothing against her personally, right? I'm just like, I'm sorry, but you're acting. You either need to have someone teach you how to act, or you should go back to what was she, a rapper, or something? Like what she like? Again, how does this kind of?
Yeah, the kind of rapper that surrounds a candy bar, maybe. That you throw away.
I'm sorry. You're just your voice is so grating on the ears. And then what? And then they have this terrible song that just it doesn't even match anything. Again, you have a musical, but then you have this borderline pop song thing, Abomination.
Hey, this isn't Lilo and Stitch yet.
And then why did they change Scuttle? Like, again, this movie makes changes that not only are unnecessary, but actively hurt it. Like, it could have just been a meh movie, but this turns it into a bad adaptation. It could have been a meh adaptation to a bad adaptation. Because, sure, at least, overall, I don't feel like they absolutely hated it, but it's very evident that that no one loved this movie. Well, and I'm not saying this has to be someone's favorite movie in order for them to make anything about it, but no one cared enough to take the lessons learned from the original and try to utilize that. Instead, they were just like, we're going to make super hyper realistic characters, even though that takes away from it. Because instead of us focusing on what the characters are talking about, I'm just being creeped out by this crab that looks like really stupid when he swims around. Like I don't like.
Well, he swims around in the cartoon, but you can see him paddling his claws. He actually that's not how crabs swim, but it makes sense with an internal consistency to the art style. Well, in this one, he's got the little flappy things behind it, the actual thing crabs swim with. That's what crabs look like when they swim, and it looks horrifying.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's fake, and since I know it's fake, it looks wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, freaking Flounder, you see up his gills, and it's just, I don't want to see that.
Also, Flounder doesn't have any facial features at all. You can't even tell when he's talking half the time. Like, you remember that scene where he's so he's with Scuttle and the crab, right? And they're talking to Ariel from the water about the wedding that's about to happen.
Oh yeah.
And wasn't he? Did you say that you couldn't tell he was talking?
Yeah, I
it's just a disembodied voice in Ariel's head.
And the
Fish
CG
can't actually talk.
The CG also looks bad. He is like kind of just there in the water, but he looks super fake. And it's like, and again, I can't tell that he's speaking. And I'm just like, why? And then King Triton, he doesn't get as much either. They don't have him doubting himself, from what I remember. Do they?
No, he seems pretty confident in what he wants to do, and it makes.
Did we have as much to work with him? Like
he
did
didn't
he
have as extreme a reaction. He seemed to be, for the most part, just generally disappointed in everything.
Yeah, to build on that, when Sebastian talks to him, it's like in both of them, Sebastian is scared of him. But in the live action one, it's like, oh, this seems like he's just gonna like kill you. Like in the animated one, I was never really afraid that he was gonna like rip him in half. But like in this one, he just looks so dour and like angry, and like he's sitting on his bubble throne, and he's just like, "I'm gonna kill you, Sebastian." It's like, oh god, don't kill the crab. That would look disturbing.
Yeah. So in conclusion, for me, sure, this is not as bad as Snow White. However, it is not worth showing at all. Just, if you want a good Little Mermaid movie, just watch the original. This has nothing to offer that. There's literally no reason. Like, not even the little Ariel name scene. Because, that's the
two
only...
good scenes. It's like, yeah, no, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
I mean, the animated one is timeless. 2D animation has the ability to look fabulous 100 years later, proven by Snow White. In 100 years from now, 200 years from now, the animated one can be watched and enjoyed and like seen as like a time capsule of a time period. It is a beautiful piece of art. This thing looked dated when it came out, and within maybe 5 years, it's just going to be like, oh wow, that. Like, look at how far we've come with
It's getting to 5 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just the photo... Like, CG has such a weakness when compared to 2D, because it will look dated.
Well, at least CG that has no artistic direction.
Yeah, but, like, even, like... Toy Story, it's like you can see that it's dated. The story is great, though, and it holds up, and it's really neat, and, like, in that sense, it holds up, but... There's so much advancements and sort of exponential growth with it, and like the progression of the Uncanny Valley, especially when you're trying to do photorealism like this, it's not going to hold up. It doesn't hold up, and the animated one's going to stand the test of time, be a monument to visual spectacle.
Yeah, well, us poor unfortunate souls. At least we have the animated